Hey everybody, it's Friday. That means we're back with another Ask the Broker show. We are brokers. My name is David. This is Richard. And today's topic, we're all pretty much familiar with the buyer contingencies in place, for the inspection, the appraisal, and the loan. But today we're focusing on the seller contingency, more specifically, the contingency to seller to find a replacement property. So let's get into that a little bit today. Richard, what brought up this topic for the day?
Well, this just happened in the office, and it was unfortunate, but it did finally work out. The seller who we represented needed to get a replacement home. So on the first deal, our agent covered us real well and put a contingency up that they had to find a replacement home.
Got it.
Well, that one fell out. So on the second one, hurrying up, putting the deal together, kind of forgot to put a contingency in there covering their seller getting a replacement home. The purchase, though, did come in at 60 days because that agent probably didn't know how to do contingencies either. So she said, well, we can get that done in 60 days. Well, sure enough, the replacement home fell out after about 20 days. Now there's only about 40 left. Took them a while to get back into escrow. Now it's down to about 20. And the other people buying the home said, well, we're closing on this date. And the one they're in contract with was closing 10 days later.
Oh, man.
Now what does that seller do for those 10 days? Well, in this case, a few days were bought, but the seller actually had to go out and live in a hotel.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, until the escrows could close, which, by the way, closed yesterday. Good thing that did work out, but it was high tension for a while. If that contingency would have been in place, remember out there too, when you do the contingency, when they find the replacement, then do an addendum to change the dates of the closings, because really that's not covered unless they're just saying, okay, we're closed at the time of the second one. But the first one probably now has to adjust because it's probably going to run later.
That's true.
So do an addendum in there on getting the replacement home and the one they're selling to close, at the same time, or they're close enough that everything works out. And then you'll have lots of happy people instead of lots of yelling.
So in that particular instance, were they unable to do a rent back because the buyers need to move in? Were they on the...
And the buyer said, no, that's a high liability. We don't want to do that.
They didn't want to do a rent back.
We don't want to let you do it.
Okay.
And I know there's a lot of rent backs going on right now, but in a more normal market, that's a lot less.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it bought a few days using the time periods and things like this, but it still ended up living in a hotel for a while with all their stuff in storage. And
oh, man. So
it did close, but if the contingency was in place,
they would have had a lot less headaches.
Yeah, and the seller could have held on and said, no, I'm going to use my contingency and say either work with me or we're not going to sell you this home.
Yeah, this is
that's why it's important.
We're in a market right now where we're having a lot of move-up buyers. People have bought a few years ago, they got some equity, now they want a bigger house, so they want to sell to upgrade, and we're seeing that quite a bit. So the contingency to find the replacement property is the one you definitely want to put in place to avoid them being homeless, so for lack of a better word. So the contingency to find a replacement property is a must in that situation to avoid situations like that. If not, you're going to have to negotiate a rent back or the seller in possession form, one of those two. Those are conversations you need to have with your sellers at the very, very beginning, which direction you want to go. So really good example of how to protect your sellers in this situation.
Same word I was going to use, protect your client, keep them safe, and they won't be homeless and in a hotel.
Yeah, good topic today. We're seeing it more and more, but if you guys have any questions on that, make sure to ask your broker, or you're always welcome to ask us. Again, my name is David. This is Richard. Our phone numbers, we'll put them down on the screen below if you ever need to, or reach out, or you can put a comment in the comments. So let us know. All right, well, is that it?
That's it.
All right, right on. Well, thanks for watching today's Ask the Broker show. We'll see you guys next Friday.